Okay, I'm back. Let's do this. So, okay. Wow, that's quite loud on my headset. All right, stay motivated. Listen to some progressive house music. Okay, let's kill this thing. Bring it back to life. The Necromancer. Okay, is this a message thread? So now we're going to detect message threading. Yes. Okay, message threading. I read something about that somewhere. Message threading. So, yeah, okay. It's probably in the I got a message event. So let's go to the API events. Message received or something. Let's check the code. It's in there. Message. That was kind of obvious. Message. A message was sent to a channel. So we got a message. No, actually, app mention is the one that we need. It's when I got an app mention, right? If someone tags it and goes, "Hey, Archivist, do the thing." What would be really cool is if I pop up like a menu for them to choose what to do, but anyway, we'll do that later. Okay, so we got this text. Ooh, okay, TS, is that the thread? Timestamp? Event timestamp. Okay, messages, direct messages, and direct messages are not dispatched by app mention. Subscribe to message IM. Message IM, we should give like a help message to people. But anyway, let's have a look. No message, send a message, event, it comes in, it looks like that. Yeah, can't reply to it, it's not in the channel. We're going to go into the channel. No message invited. Yep, standard app mention. Oh. Wrapped in metadata as an app event. Yeah, whatever. And when I say whatever, I mean literally whatever. App metadata. Let's move this over here so I can see it. How's that looking? Just gonna move a few things around here. Okay, cool. So, receiving events dispatches, JSON, callback field, token, team, app, event type, yeah, type, the type of callback, yep. Auth users, event type, structure, type, and then TS user, TS timestamp, yeah, item. I don't remember seeing anything that had like an item in it. The event is already kind of destructured, so a message event. So here someone says the message, okay? This is the message that we get. No, that's my channel join thing. Okay, so I can turn this off here. Let's log out this message. Like that. Restarting. Are we ready to roll? Yes, we are ready to roll. So let's tag the archivist. And now, just imagine that. Yeah, what I will do actually is I'll make it that just tagging it triggers the behavior, and then later to make that like backwards compatible, I'll pop up a menu. Okay, boom. Okay, so this is the entire message. Oh, okay, so that Slack message event actually has way more in it. So I got two events. I got a message. I got an app mention. Ah, beautiful. I can probably correlate these two things. Message and an app mention. Blocks, elements, arrays. Okay. Let's have a look at the two things. They're pretty much, are they the same? They look like the same event. Okay, how do I tell if the message is threaded? Let's find out. App mention, right? Yeah. App mention. Well, since they're the same event, I can look at the... What's this one? Event subscriptions, event loop, the event loop. The event loop. Events API, abstract event-driven sequence. User creates circumstance, triggers an event subscription. I mean, that just means an event, right? Your server receives a payload of JSON, acknowledges receipt. Business logic decides, carries out the decision. Sure. Yeah. Okay, is it right for your app? Opening WebSockets. Instead of maintaining long-lived connections, simply one or more endpoints receives atomically in near real time. Okay, let's have a look. Permissions model, leverages, selects existing, subscribing to event types, request URLs. Okay, that's what I suspected about that WebSockets. Resource intensive. Okay, messages sent via, this is the app mention event, API event. So the other one is called a message event. Let's have a look. Message event might contain the information about the message threading model that this thing uses. Okay, message. Several sources, channels, channels history, IM history. Oh, I can pull history. Okay, cool. Simple message, pretty self-explanatory. Can also have attachments property. Attachments property? Message, client message ID, type message. Yep. Edited. Okay, might have edited. Okay, original text is not available. Yep. Message subtypes. Channel join. Okay. Message subtypes. Type subtype. Okay. Subtypes. Okay, so the app mention is not going to get those. Hidden subtypes. Ooh. Hang on, an event subtype. Message subtypes. So I should change my type signature then. Because the Slack message event might have this. Save that to the, strip that off. Might be present. Let's see, so Command D and then go like this. Yes. String. Okay. And then the other thing that might be on there is a subtype. No, I can just type that out. Type, and it might have a subtype. Sick. That's not just a string, actually, it's an enum of these things. Okay, inspect. Haha, this is how I started programming in JavaScript, trying to do stuff like this. Move this down. I mean, do I have jQuery on this page? That's the question, isn't it? Get a console. Elements. Page contents. Here we go. It's in here. It's in this table here. It's in this table row. Each of these is a table row. Anything I can select on there? No. This? Nah. Oh, I can write a jQuery selector and then parse out these tables. Oh my goodness. To get these string constants to put them in there. Oh. Not gonna do it. Okay, we're just gonna, yeah. Needs a better typing. Message events. Okay, well, where's the threaded messages, man? Message thread reply was broadcast to the channel. Okay. Threaded messages. Message payloads. Deep dark woods of messaging. Retrieving, managing, retiring, modifying, sending, thread broadcast. Let's have a look at this one. Message payloads. Managing messages overview, apps send retrieve, message payload, text blocks, attachments, thread TS. The idea of another unthreaded message to reply to. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so where does this appear? Fields. If you're using, oh, this is if you want to reply to a thread. Okay, you can create a thread. Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Conversations, yeah. Threading, here we go. This is what I saw before. They can read and write messages in threads. Before it's unthreaded. Once it has replies, it becomes parent message. So we want to grab everything in the thread from the parent down. How to send and receive retrieving messages, publish messages as a threaded reply. We'll do that later. Okay, so here we go. Detect a threaded message by looking for a thread TS value in the message object. So, not in there. Let's put it in. It's called a thread timestamp. Thread TS. Property of type what? Existence of a property. Okay. Parent messages by comparing the thread TS and TS values. They're equal. Okay. Thread replies. If they're different, it's a reply. Parent object will contain the threaded TS value. Okay, that's fine. Retrieving threads. Okay, conversations replies. Go to conversations replies. Reply count. Okay, so okay, I don't know what this would be. I'm just gonna say it's a string. Well, if it's equal to the thread TS and TS, if thread TS and TS are okay. Okay, so let's just write some helper functions to instantiate that logic. It's getting a bit messy, but it's cool. No, I'll put it in the helpers. Yeah, okay, so I might should I wrap it and put it in a class? I'll do that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it like this. Export class Slack message like this. Constructor takes an event of a Slack message event, type Slack message event, right? And then this dot event equals event, and then we'll give it some properties like is threaded message. Okay, so this will return this dot event import this. Okay, so return this dot event. No, not any, dude. This. Okay, if it has the thread TS, so that returns a boolean, is thread parent. Return wake up this dot event dot thread TS is equal to this dot event dot TS. I think so. Check that logic. threaded message, look for the thread TS. If it exists, it's a part of a thread. Parent messages, compare the thread TS and TS. If they're equal, message a parent. Threaded replies are also identified by comparing the thread TS and TS values. If they're different, it's a reply. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there's many different ways I could construct this to make it easier, but this helper method here, if I go on @message like that, so that's a promise, so it won't interfere with the execution of this. So const message equals new. I'd probably, if I was designing this as an ergonomic API, I would lift all this out so that I would have my own like app mention and it would pass in a Slack message. But I'm just going to hand code it for now. Pass in the event, right? I'll find Slack message. Well, import it. Yeah. Okay. Why can't it take an event? Slack mention event. What does a Slack mention event look like? Ooh. Okay. Well, what we can do to test this theory is, does that also get enriched in the same way? Okay, it started, so if I go back here and I now thread this and I call the archivist now, send that. Ta-da! Okay, it came in, it has a thread TS, so it's actually the same structure. Message event, yeah. How does it differ? Blocks, they're pretty much the same thing. The only difference is the type is app mention. Okay. So if I go to my types and have a look at them, my mention event, type user text TS channel event TS. Does it have team? It does. At mention, it's got team, it's got everything. So in fact, it's the same thing. So if I go back to my index, it will say there's no Slack mention event. We'll change this to a Slack message event. Like that. Maybe the link shared one is the same thing. Change this to the message event. Can now uncomment that, and then I have to take this out of there because that no longer exists. And let's go back to the mention event. So we got the message. Now we say, okay, now what we're going to implement is this here. Ta-da! Is this message a message thread, not a thread? Okay, if it's not a thread, if message dot not message is threaded message, you know what? It doesn't actually need to be a method. That can be a property. Return. Okay, done there. And then we'll go to the helpers, which is the wrong name now. It should be Slack message. I mean, this can be lifted to here because there's no additional information that we need to be able to compute that. And this doesn't exist. Create it. Come on. Oh, gotta destroy this. And then give me the option to add it, declare property, boolean. Very nice, very nice. So if I now go Control C, drop that in there, and then Control C that one, and then say this equals that. Destroy this. Save. No. Const unresolved variable. Okay. Close enough for rock and roll, baby. Yep, declare it Boolean. Good. Save that. Yep, auto format's very nice. Let's put this there like that. Good. Okay, let's refactor and change this to Slack message. Rename to Slack message. Capital for a class. Okay. That crashed. What isn't it like? Oh, okay. Save. Now it should run. If it's not a threaded message. Okay, so here we'll say console.log. Not a threaded message. Bailing. Have to deal with people summoning it twice in the same thread as well. Okay, yep. And then here we can say threaded message. Creating discourse post. Okay. Restarting, listening for events. Okay, so if we go back here, I can say like this, at Archivist. Not a threaded message, bailing. Good. And then if I now go here and say at Archivist, threaded message creating discourse post. Okay. I can turn this off. I have enough information about it there. Save that again. Let's go back to our done. Okay, that is complete. That is complete. Okay, let's check the behavior. Okay, new user joins Slack. This is V2. Okay, so this one. Discourse. Okay, before I do that, I want to refactor this code here to see if there's enough like information about the shape of this application to be able to do that. Okay. Oh, yuck. Can I collapse this? Okay, good. Okay, we've got that. Hydration. No, I don't really need that. This thing here. Oh no, I need to retrieve all the messages in the thread. Yeah, okay. Okay, we're not complete. It's not done. It's not done. Okay, can retrieve all the messages. Before we can create the post, we need to be able to do this. Okay, retrieve all the messages in a thread. So, the deep dark woods of messaging, retrieving threads, use conversation replies. Okay. Open. Close everything to the right. Goodbye. Yeah, we're done with this stuff here. Mise en place. Clean up as you go. Everything in its place. Okay, facts. Method URL. This is like Swagger or something. Rate limiting. Auto-generated. This conversations API method returns an entire thread. Oh, very good. Oh, you got to pass the channel. Okay. Unique identifier of a thread's parent message. how do I get the parent message? That's the thread TS, yeah. I'm gonna have to paginate. Oh, I'm gonna have to retrieve information about the users to get their names. Okay. Let's just paginate the thread first. So we'll do that. So it's webs, conversations, replies. Okay, so this definitely has to be broken out of here. So get the conversations, replies, right? So I'm gonna put that into its own function. Get messages for thread. Get messages in thread. Okay, so the information that I need to be able to get the messages in the thread is I need the channel and the thread parent. Both strings. 2 parameters is not enough to create an object, but if I need more data to get it, I'll use that. So this is actually going to be an asynchronous function because it needs to do pagination and it also needs to do web calls. So async already, good. Okay, so const message thread equals get messages in thread for message dot, so I can just pull it off the event itself. Event dot channel and then event thread TS. And I can assert that it does exist. Put that type guard actually up in here. I'm not going to do that now. That if I was designing this for other people to use, I would do that. Like, if it is a threaded message, then it would have that as well. This new Slack message would return 2 types of things: a threaded message or a non-threaded message. Okay. Yeah, okay. I got the message thread, and then we should await it because it's a promise. I did see an article that had a thing that would throw an error in the IDE if you didn't await a promise. I don't remember what that was. You somehow changed the function signature of it. It's pretty cool. Should have paid more attention to it. I see a lot of things on Twitter. Get the messages in the thread. We've got the channel, we've got the thread parent. So we're going to call, well, our function is web.conversations.history. I'm going to guess history to start with. And then let's go back here, replies. This is actually quite nicely typed. So I don't want to lose that type information when because I've got a generic thing here, right? So I won't do that. I'll do type T. Not callable. Unknown. Unknown until you... Yeah, no, that's not gonna work, dude. What was I thinking? It's gonna erase... Yeah. It's unknown until you actually call it. Nah. The only other way I could do that is if I returned a function from here and then thread the generic through it. And then call the function at the call site here, in which case I would get it. Why not? Just why not? Because you can. Because you can. Right? So this thing is going to return a function. No, don't do it. That's a rabbit hole, man. Would be pretty cool, but it's a rabbit hole. Forget that. I might be able to thread the type information through to get the return type. But anyway, the object, you know, the data object that comes back. Channel. Oh no, that's right, I genericized it already to key and value. I need to do get all. I don't put the machinery out there. And I get that I'm optimizing this too soon, but whatever. Generalizing it. So get all from a function, right? Get all from a function. And then the parameters that we're going to pass into that function are, I need to send in token. We don't need to do that. It automatically does it. Channel we need, TS, and cursor. Function, query, and cursor. Nope, it doesn't need a cursor. It's going to return everything. Boom. Okay. Let error. So cursor is going to be nothing to start with. This is where we manage the cursor in here. This is the machine that handles the whole thing. Okay, so let's do it like this. While not error, and cursor. Maybe I could do until. Oh, it takes me back to my Pascal programming days. Do while, yes. Not error. And cursor. Oh, I've never used this in JavaScript. Okay, so cool. So, okay, so here we also need to let results, right? Oh, destructuring the results might be tough. To genericize, make generic. Let's have a look. Anyway, we would, get the next page of web API results, right? Pass in the function, the query. And here we can just do query. And then change this here to query as an object. And we'll use rest spread to construct the actual query. Function query cursor. That. And we need to await it, and we need to do something with what comes out of it. And I think it's something like results.concat. We'll just do that. Actually, no. We need to test if there was an error. Control X over here this time. Yeah. In the zone, man. Const result equals nah, that goes up there. Okay, so results concat res, yep, just concatenate the results to the end. But the thing is here, yeah, what do we do if there's an error? Age. And then update the cursor. Res dot cursor. So, we just do this, const payload equals, so we'll take this object and we apply the limit 40, pass the cursor into it, if there is one. Undefined otherwise, hopefully they won't break it, and then spread the query onto it, and then in here we just call function payload. Okay, and then I can get better IntelliSense if I do this. It returns either a page. This is where I will put the T. I wonder if I could do it like this. So you do page T. This would be like this. Right? Function is returns a promise of T. Cursor. Which is a string. Either returns that or it returns an error, which is of type string. What don't you like about that? Oh, yeah, okay, it returns a promise of this thing. recursive type method web API call results. Method to web. Okay, so in here, stop that timer. Let's start another timer for 30 minutes. Getting lost in the machinery. Could have done it with just some straight up ghetto coding, but had to go all the way. So this thing here is actually this method. Yeah. It's a method. What doesn't it like about that? One type argument. Ah. Okay, so no. So we put the generic here. Uninfer T. What doesn't it like about that? Not assignable to parameter of type T. So that's the parameter type of the. Okay, well, I'll make that type P. P there. Reading this through is limit number. Here's a string or undefined is assignable to the constraint of type P, but P could be instantiated with a different subtype of constraint nothing. Really? Okay. Dude, this is quite cool. I like it. The generic. Okay. Web API has been written by someone different from the other one because this is a real type system. I probably don't need to wrap it myself. Because I've genericized it, I am gonna lose the typing. That's the only thing, but I can typecast it. So let's make it any. Typecast it using their typing system at the call site. Okay, so oh yeah, the only thing about this page is I'll type that on the other side. Okay, so error string, probably error. Okay, yeah, you need to ta-da! Okay. This needs like a type guard on it again. Is error result. Well, here's the thing. I do need actually to deal with what happens. How does my bot behave when it does encounter an error when it's paginating some kind of result? So I'm going to lift that to a first level thing. So I'm going to go interface. In other words, I'm reifying or making first class the return, like whether it's an error or not, so that I can, you know, code my program around it, like semantically, like, okay, what happens if it does return a web API page error? What do you do? 10% of programming is getting it to work. 90% of programming is what happens when it doesn't work. Okay, so these two different types. So you have, yeah, this is the actual result. Ta-da! So what this thing actually returns is a promise. What's that doing there? It shouldn't be there. Does that fix it? Nah. Why would that fix it? What was I even thinking? Wishful thinking, that's what that's called. So it's going to be either a web API page error or a web API page result. Ta-da! Here we go. Okay. This can be lifted out into its own file. It's a pure function. And then so I just say yes, okay, yep, now I know what to do. This is how you do it. Wouldn't actually even need to define that there. That's cool. That's how you do it. Look at that. Type guard. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. I was trying to remember. I wrote an article about it. I made a library actually called TS Ghetto Monad. Yeah. Implementing this pattern as a type guard using these Boolean literals in the type signature. It's beautiful. So you can avoid having to do this thing that I had to do down here, where you do like a, you know, a helper function to typecast it. You can do it by using Boolean literals in there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, but what do we do if it is an error? Try again with the next one. In that case, we could do this, which would have us do an early exit. The scope. This will, yeah, it's gonna bail if it gets an error. Otherwise, it could go in an infinite loop here. I'm just gonna emit the error. Yeah. could return like a, I'm sorry, I encountered an error. Oh yeah, sure. I don't think there's much type information on the response though, that's the only thing. This is just like, that's it. No information on the actual response. So what I can do, call my pagination get all. That's the function. What's the signature of get all? Function query. Let's do this. There we go. I've defined a helper function. And then I just console log it out. Let's test it. Okay, let's make sure there's not my console login events in here. I don't want to do that because it'll be messy. Yep. Okay, I'm going to bust this out into web API pagination. This can go out there because this is a pure function. Refactor? Move to a new file. Debug fail. Couldn't do it. Cut. B. Yep. And the only thing that we need to export is this. Get all. So if we go back here, we'll find that get all now throws an error, but we can now import it like that. There we go. I've encapsulated the complexity of this kind of state machine and just exposed one entry point, and it's just a pure function. And it's going to work the first time that I run it. Yep. Fact. So, threaded message, creating threaded message, and then we'll do console .log messages. Message thread. That's how confident I am that this is going to work. Yep. Listening for events. So if I put in here, I go, this is a thread. This is a thread. And then call the archivist. And undefined. Okay. What happened there? Okay. messages in thread. Wait, get all web conversations replies. Do a little bit of debugging in here. Okay, so I want to debug. I'm gonna log out the payload. And what else? Something else of interest. Payload and guess the function to string, just to make sure we got the right thing in here. It's not a class method, so it doesn't need this, so it's okay to pass it around like this. Oh yeah, there's in here in the message somewhere, it's logging the message. We no longer need that. Okay, another one. Bam. Do it. Cursor undefined. So, native code. Okay. Native code. Native code. Okay, it's interesting. So we go in here, calls this function, passes in this payload, which is this. I think could be that the cursor is and I think we can erase it's passing undefined. Could be. So what we can do then is this. That should erase it if it's undefined, so I would expect to see the same thing but not undefined cursor in there. Try it. Okay. Archivist. Cursor's still undefined. Okay, I can... Well, let's just try it without the cursor and see what happens. See if that fixes it. Okay. This is getting like a long thread here, dude. Okay, so... the fact that it says try this, copy this, the fact that it says native code there, yeah, I'm not sure what that is, not sure. So instead of awaiting the function, let's just like straight up call that directly. Oh, web doesn't exist. Oh. Messages in thread, get all. Maybe it is some kind of, maybe it does need this. I don't see how that would be a thing. Okay, so web. So function, so change that to fn. Ta-da! Let's see if this does it. Object. Okay. Well, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the generalization, huh? No, it doesn't. First thing to do, I know how to get around that. And then, as far as this thing's concerned, we should JSON stringify this. JSON stringify? Yes, I know how to get around it. Well, I have an idea. I have a strong hypothesis about how to get around it. Okay, Archivist. Object. What? Literally? Undefined. Oh, okay, so where I need to do the JSON stringification is in here. Oh no, that's this. Okay, no, it's returning undefined. Thing is object here. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I think if I do this, if I do oh goodness, should have just directly coded it up. It's okay, it'll be useful later. Code is messy. I don't need to see this, so that's what I do need to see. This I don't need to see. I don't need to see this. It's working. Ignore this. Okay, good. Get messages in thread, so it's going to send through this. So instead, what we need to send through is this. Web.conversations.history? No, it was replies. Okay. Ta-da. So I think I should get the same result if I do then like this. Okay, here we go. It's a function that returns the web thing. I'm gonna be able to pass it inside a function enclosure. At Archivist. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so there's the page that comes back, right? Now, that... Okay, well, maybe I can get rid of that. Let me see. Save that. Instead of passing through that, let's just pass through this. That could have been the whole problem. Archivist, send... Okay, yeah, I didn't need to put it in a function enclosure, it's fine. Okay, so there's something wrong in my machine over here. Ta-da! Okay, so it's getting this, and then it's returning the page, right? as page. And then so what we need to do here is results.concat. It must be an array of objects. No, it's an object. An object. Okay. I need like a Lodash merge. Oh, this is what happens when you generalize too early. I don't know what the shape of future API responses will be. Well, let's just assume that they're this top level thing, so okay, so it's going to be an object. Oh, I could just pick the first key. Yeah, that would do it. That's why that's not working. It's because it's like, okay, so our result is going to be, you can't just merge the objects together. We want the results to be an array of messages, right? So, I mean, could do like into this black hole. Into this black hole. Res, so we get res back, and then it's got like data equals yeah, I mean, here's one way to do it. Just take the first key off there, right? There might be a quicker, a more elegant way to do that, but one way I know how to do it is could just go like this. I mean, part of the problem here is that the return shape of the API is not defined in the typings. This could really break if they change their API. Ta-da! I reckon that'll work. I'm so confident that I can just take out this thing here. Yep, that's what solved it. No. This page is not a function. What? Oh, no. Huh? Get all. That's what's happening there. Disgusting. I am not proud of that. That is a hack. But that hack is encapsulated inside this one place at least. It's not exposed to the rest of the app. Okay, undefined. So, let's see what I'm getting out of here. Let's be more explicit. Okay, so const payload key Control X. This is the payload key. That's the payload key, and then the data res page, so the results page, and then we want to grab out of the results page the payload key. Right. Okay, so let's do this. Two things. Three things actually. So console.log page, which is actually res.page. Dun dun. 8 minutes left. Console.log the res page data, if we manage to get any, and put this at the end so that you can see console.log payload key. Payload key. Okay, yep, here we go. Not Stephen OTT. Archivist. Messages and then undefined. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, the shape of this thing is like... Okay, this is so... Are we logging this down here? We don't need this anymore. That part we know is working. Okay. So the first thing that we see here is the page. And then the page has a messages key. And then we grab that, and that messages key has an array of messages. Yeah. An array of messages, yeah. As more. And then we're echoing out the data. So, okay, the error then must be in that array concat thing that I'm doing. Do I not understand how array concat works? Maybe. Don't know. Open another terminal. Close this. Start a node REPL. And then say let A equal an empty array. And then do A. Right, that's not an array mutation. Oh man, that's not a mutation. A unchanged. Okay, you know what? Yeah, okay, just use a reducer and you pass in the... Yeah, I don't normally program in this style. I would use some kind of reducer. You pass in the current set and it returns the merge set. Not a mutation in a loop. I'm not gonna touch it. Chalk that one up to the box. Dude, I would have failed the coding interview with that question. It would have been like, array concat, how does it work? I'd be like, I got no idea. Boom, it just works. So I'm talking about, okay, no, it didn't work. Console.log. console grid collapse. That's interesting. Data. Starting to flag. Starting to flag. Results. But you know what? There's like a second wind that comes, and the reason why I produce so many kind of ridiculous amount of results in programming, if I do say so myself, is because, as Einstein said, I'm not smarter than anyone else, I just stay with problems longer. Okay, well, there are the results. Oh my god. Oh man. Okay, 2 spastic errors. No offense to anyone that word offends. Dude, did not return anything from the function. Now, you know what? That returns a promise of nothing, promise of undefined. And then here, if I tried to do anything with it, it would have told me that. Yeah. Dude, made the same mistake here. That's why I wanted to thread the return value through, because then you can detect those kind of errors, because it'll say, hey dude, you're trying to JSON stringify nothing. Yeah, okay. The partial typings on this thing, that's what I blame. Ah, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Oh, and look at that, it just works. It's like magic. See, look at that. Beautiful. We've got an array of messages from this thing. Okay, now we need to get the usernames, the user information. Construct some kind of text out of it. Textual thread, so let's do that. I'm gonna prettify that, making it, oh no, it's null comma 2. Okay. Okay, let's boom. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this out, because what we need to do now is destructure this. No, I should have made a smaller thread. We need to get all up inside this thing and extract, because we're gonna have to. This is where GraphQL is useful. Get me all of the messages with all of the information about all of the users. Types. Put it in here. Dump it in there. Okay. Client message ID. Client message ID type user TS team. Yep. Logs. Okay, these are just messages. Reply count. Reply users count. Latest reply. Reply users. Replies. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, it's all the threading information. But you know what? I'm just gonna say that these are in order. latest reply. In this first cut, I'm going to say that they all come back in order, and I'm just going to treat them in order. So it's actually giving me back what is essentially, and we can deal with the difference, you know, the threading metadata later, an array of Slack messages. So here I can, this is what I was saying about doing the cast at the core point. Slack message events. Yeah, it's an array of Slack messages. Not here. This is like a controller. So I've got to keep that thin and do it in here. Now I need to get user information, right? So okay, I'm gonna stub out my code like this. So I'm gonna build a unique user table using a set. I haven't really used sets before, but I know that you use them when you want to have only one copy of each thing. It's easier than like reducing an array for each user. Get their user data, get their username. Replace the user code in the messages with the name. And then I think I might pass it through a templating engine like Handlebars or Micro Mustache to get the actual text. Okay, so for each message, const users equals new set, and then so we'll go users, that's the set, add message dot typing. See, now it's starting to pay off. Okay. And then let's be satisfied with that for now. I just want to validate. Oh, there's only one user in that thing. It's me. Okay, let's do it like this. New set a dot add something, a dot add same thing. Okay, and just for completeness, a dot add something else. That's what I wanted, so quit from there. Exit. Okay, so we got the each set, right? Async function. Support in place. So users, can you do for each on a set? For each you can. Cool. No. I should do a map. Oh, you can't do a map. Hang on. How do I convert a set to an array? Can I do a spread? Entries, keys, entries. 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 Iterable iterator values. iterators. Okay, so when I do a spread, let's see. No. Okay, quick Google, set to array. Create a set elements, create an empty array with the size, and then convert the set to an array using the to array. That's Java. Array from. I'm not even going to store it anywhere. I'm just going to go like this. Users, right? Yep. I can't map it though. Yes, I can. Like this, right? And then what we do is we return the user is the key, and so far it's undefined what their actual thing is. Computed property. It's unknown, right? Well, we know that these things are going to be string. And there's maybe a lowercase string? A lowercase string. Okay, yeah. Now, once we map that, doesn't it like about that? It's saying that it needs a semicolon? Maybe. No. That's meant to be one of these. Yeah. One of those. Okay, cool. Nah. Now we're getting a bit crazy because I'm going to map into an async function that calls, so I should I could do this like user map. Nah, I can just do this. So I'm going to map over that array of tuples. So I'm going to get like a I'll call it a user record. Oh yeah, but how do you handle errors in here? You don't. Almost all on this, just return promises, I guess. If I wait, it'll be slower. You know what? I should cache the usernames. Cache the usernames. Okay, so start with an array. Okay, so I've got an array of usernames, right? So I'm going to create a like a users function kind of helper, and I'll use a closure to cache the names in here. So it's like a, I'll just call it user cache. And it's going to be a tuples. It's going to be an array of like, not an array, but tuples of name, which is a string. Not actually their name, but like their user code. I don't know what you call that. User code. I haven't even looked at the API to see if what I'm doing is going to actually return their names, but whatever. String. So we're going to, every time it starts, we'll warm up that cache. We won't warm it up, but we'll have it ready. So this is an async function, which is get usernames. Get usernames, right? Now, it's going to take, we'll call them user codes, right? And that's an array of strings. Async function, okay? Now, okay, so then we're going to say return user codes dot map. So it's going to return a map, another array. So here we get a user code. Promise all on this. No necessity for this to be fast. And so this is going to be asynchronous here. Okay, a user code, and then we're going to return either the user cache for that user code, or get and cache that user code. Okay, so here we create an async function. A lot of code with no tests, man. A lot of code with no tests. Async function, get and cache. User code, which is I assert as a type string, so tell me if I broke something in my other code. Thanks, type system. So in here, I'm going to do two things. Get username from the web API, which means I need a reference to the web API in here. And then the other thing is cache it. And then return it. Okay, so to get access to the web API in here, make this cache private, and then export a function from here. Export a function that takes a web and then returns this. Mixed metaphors, man. Classes, whatever happens to be closest to hand. Classes, functional programming, imperative loops, whatever. Get up bangers. Get the comma. And it's a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Nope, didn't like that. Oh, you can't export. Oh yeah, you can export. Yep. Doesn't it like? No, you can't refer to this without that. Ooh. Yes you can, because that is a private method. Yeah, unreachable code, right. So what we need to do here is put this back into here. And then lift it into this. Basically, remove one of these, I think, and then save that. Nope. Okay, return. What? Oh yeah, okay, so actually, okay, maybe I should make a class, just to keep it consistent. No, whatever. So export an anonymous function. Function missing. Does it need a name? I guess it does, right? Maybe I could just do this. Nah, autocomplete won't work well for that. What username lookup service? Because that's kind of what it is, and it needs a dependency injection. Does that work? Nope. Okay, so we're going to return a get usernames. It's an object that has a get usernames, which is a function, which has inside it another function. And that's what that is. It's that function there. What? It needs another one of these? Dude. It needs another one of these. Okay, whatever. What a mess. I reckon that when you work on a code base, it should look like one person wrote it. When multiple people work on it, dude, when I work on a code base, it looks like, when I'm doing this anyway. What's wrong with this now? You look at the identifier. I broke something in here. Nope, I just forgot to take that out. Well, you know, the Slack message is a class. Slack message would have been better off like this, actually. It's a wrapper. Username lookup service, and then it has a method. Yeah, okay, just stick with the class then. Yeah, stick with class. Oh, no, I can't be bothered. That's fine. I'm in a functional mode. Okay, get the user from the web API. So, this web thing here is of type. Pass it in. Const user lookup equals. We call it user. Okay, I'm surprised I can't pick that up in the IntelliSense. Maybe it's because it's not a class? I don't know. I'll just make it a class. Just syntactic sugar over the same thing. Oh, it's just more ceremony, that's the only thing. Constructor takes a web, sets this web to that, no kidding. Okay. Syntactic sugar over the top of this, so I'm just basically refactoring it to what it will turn it into anyway. So I can just take that out, make it into a private method now. This. So here we can go v async like that. Just make it private. Save, go back here. Still can't find it? Come on. Weird. I wonder why I can't find it. Because this, yeah, I can enforce a singleton by instantiating it here and then returning an instance of it. Okay, so we do it like this. No, because I need an injection. I don't have a dependency injection container. In which case, I might as well practice good programming while I'm at it. Okay, dude. Control C. Dude, I'm actually fatigued right now. What's up? I haven't eaten, that's what it is. Cray cray. Yeah, I'll take a break, have something to eat, come back and hit it. I'm just like going crazy, like refactoring from functions to classes. Dude, I gotta eat something.